You're watching Good Boys. You're watching Good Boys. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. So I don't know if people noticed that I had borrowed Guude's audio a couple times in last week's episodes.
Yeah, Windows update. Why? I don't understand how they do things like that.
Did you just jump in the hole?
Yeah.
I was like, why is Guude going toward my hole? And I just went, wee.
I'm trying to find that stone you have down here.
Oh, it's in that chest.
Yeah.
You jumped over the chest.
I think I've made a big mistake. How do you get out?
You probably can't. You'll have to dig a block and jump out. Oh no, you can get to where the water stream is tall too and get out there. But yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
fine.
I guess I could have done that. I didn't think of that. That block broke instantly.
What kind of sword do you got?
I didn't use
Or
my
sword?
sword.
What kind of sword do you? What kind of sword do you have? That block breaking sword of yours.
I'm just happy to see you.
No, but yeah, the whole latest Windows update just screwed everything up in my computer. And did we talk about this on stream with the white search bar? Or when we were recording?
I don't know
I can't
about that,
remember.
but like I
Before or
was,
after?
my stream setup makes it where my desktop is streamed, and people have made a lot of comments about that. They're like, "What the fuck is wrong with your search bar?" And so I guess they haven't got the update yet. And I'm like, "Oh, you fucking wait! It's coming to the PC near you too."
Yeah, like I said, when I brought it up to you in the first place, you were like, "Oh, mine didn't do that," and then you're like, "Holy shit! I looked at my other computer and it did." Like,
Yeah.
This is terrible.
That's a weird change too. Like, why would you want that? Everything on down there is black. Why is the search bar white
I would
now?
assume that has to be like an oversight. Let me even. I'm gonna look up. What we're bringing this up to talk about the fact that it's called. We don't know what's in this update, but it was the Windows. Was it the fall update?
I literally don't know. You keep saying the fall update, and I didn't argue with you because it is fall. Well, actually, it's winter now.
Search bar is
So-
white.
I don't even know. It's winter, man. Why
How
is
can I
it
make
called
it
the
black
fall
again?
update? If it is called the fall update.
Oh, to return Cortana to her natural darker color, enable the setting dark mode. That sounds so terrible. The fact that they had to put a name and almost like a personality to this thing now being white or black and having to enable dark mode to get her black again.
Well, you know it's always been called Cortana, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think about it as the search bar. So when they just when the article is written, like it literally says to return Cortana to her natural darker color, enable the setting dark mode.
So, so what happened is they basically Michael Jackson's Cortana.
I guess so. But the question is why?
Yeah, I would love to know the answer to that too.
And that's like it's like you like was I always in dark mode? Maybe it was the fact that there was a dark mode before and they had it on by default and you could have turned it to non-dark mode and they just made it so it's not dark mode by default. Or was it a complete change? Like I didn't even know that there was option to change. I didn't need to change it because I liked the dark out of the way view.
Right.
Of it. I didn't see it. It wasn't obtrusive. It was just there. And when I knew where it was at when I needed to get to it. And with it being white, it's so prominent. It's so there and in my face. And now I'm going to change Cortana to her natural dark again one of these days.
I probably won't ever even bother. Like, I mean, I don't like it, but I also don't care enough, I guess, to figure out how to even do it.
Oh, God. Oh no. Don't ruin my signs. I accidentally just broke through a into the river.
Into the river.
Oh, good. I think it was in a spot where it did not affect my water flow. Oh, nope, it definitely did. It affected the flows. No question that those flows were affected. But it's, I'm pretty confident it's called the I didn't actually look when I just did the search. Let me see if something says. Nobody talks about the fall update. Cortana white fix. Windows. Let me just look at Windows Fall update and make sure that's what it's called. Yeah, Windows 10 Fall Creators Update.
Why is it called a creators update?
I don't even know.
I did see that part of the update added some kind of 3D image viewer.
Oh, I saw that on a commercial actually. That Windows 10 now includes the free 3D paint, which I think will be kind of cool. I just haven't had a chance to play with it yet.
How is it 3D? Can you like paint in VR maybe?
Well, I think you can paint, but I think you can paint on the screen. It was made from what I gather from the commercial, they made it sound like it was made for Microsoft Surface. And you can basically like start rendering an object in 2D and then twist the screen a little bit to give it depth.
You know what? I played with that at the Microsoft Store actually.
Okay.
So I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, and they have a bunch of like art assets that are already 3D that you can like snap down real easily. And
then you're supposed to be able to like twist things in specific ways to make the backgrounds pop more, make things look more realistic, and when you actually do render them back to 2D or whatnot. So, I mean, conceptually, that's a cool feature. But other than that, I don't know what was included. I only know that because of a commercial that was on during football this weekend.
What I don't understand is how they managed to make an update break everyone's sound. Because the average user, I don't feel like the average user is going to even know what happened. Like, why does my sound not work, and how do I fix it? Like, how many grandmothers picked up
I took an update. I better change a bunch of settings I never changed in the first place.
Right. I feel like grandmothers everywhere picked up their phones after their computers auto-updated, and grandsons all over the world were like,
Why's it gotta be a sexist thing?
I knew you were going to say that right after I said grandsons. It's just like grandchildren.
The grandkids are much more technology savvy. The sons especially. But the name.
Which name?
5 years from now, are people going to know what the fuck the fall update was?
Oh, well, no. I mean, but do updates normally have names? I thought they normally just had, like, revision numbers.
Or
right.
Revision. Well, and that would make sense. I get really frustrated with Android because everybody's talking about, well, are you on Android Marshmallow or are you on, Snowcat or whatever the hell that they're all called?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't know what I'm on, like, cause I didn't get my.
Well, the thing is, you can't follow that. It doesn't have a linear progression. Like, what comes first, a marshmallow or a snowcat?
Right. And snowcat, I know is wrong. Marshmallow was definitely one. I can't remember what the other ones were, but they're named something just random. Like one was like not cookie. It was something about cookies though. I don't remember what it was.
That's weird.
But yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't make sense to follow. But that's also always been. I think they're just trying to pull out the Mac model, I believe, because like they have Leopard and other ones. I don't know what they all are, but they constantly have theirs are all called some type of like animal name for their updates, and I'm just like, why?
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, what there? I think that might have been where I actually got Snowcat from. Still not right.
Well, see, now I thought that a lot of these things have like these in-house names like that, but I thought once they got pushed out to the world, because like that's how Microsoft's always done, like their Windows versions. It's like named after mountains and stuff in the region, but then once it goes live, it's got a different name.
I wonder if they just forgot to change it, and then they were like, "Oh, people enjoyed that name. Let's just go with it."
Which are we talking about now? Snowcats?
Any of them? I don't even know. I don't think it matters. It's just whatever one.
Kind of like the Microsoft Xbox One X was Project Scorpius for so long.
Scorpius was the PlayStation version.
I guess it was Project Scorpio because it's a Scorpio, like its birth month.
Oh, really? How do they know when it was going to be born?
Well, they knew when they were going to release the system.
How can you design something and know when you're going to release it before it's finished?
I mean, that's
Isn't that
that's what
bad
corporate America's.
R&D? Isn't that bad R&D right there?
What do you mean?
I know they have desired release dates, but if something's not ready, you're just basically telling me you're going to rush it to market because you've
Well,
named
no, people didn't know whenever it was called Project Scorpio that meant that's when it was coming out.
They didn't, but if that was Microsoft's plan all along.
I mean, and no, Microsoft never said that. That's just something I decided because that's when it came out, and I was like, oh, that's a Scorpio.
So you just made it up.
I mean, it is a Scorpio.
Okay. I believe you. I don't know. I don't remember when Scorpio was. No, is it the new Scorpio or the old Scorpio? Remember they changed the.
Did they change it?
They changed it back in like sometime in the early 2000s.
How does that work?
I don't. They claim that they found. Oh God, what was the whole response behind that? Like they realized that there was an issue with the way the calendars have changed throughout the years with the Gregorian calendar and all this stuff, and they were actually celebrating it wrong. So they went through and changed it to what was right, though some people still hold by their original signs. I know it only changed like. It shifted it by a week or something like that. So if you happen to be born,
Well, yeah, that fucks a lot of people, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure it did. Now I'm gonna look this up. When did they change the astrological? Is it astrological signs? Is that what they're called?
I think so.
It says, "Stop freaking out. NASA did not change your zodiac sign."
Oh, his zodiac signs.
The zodiac signs have changed. Here's your new sign. This may be especially hard to hear if you're Libras who crave balance and order, or Leos whose sense of self is strong. Gemini's both sides. Blah blah blah. Zodiac has changed, but what is your long astrological sign may not be your astrological sign. Trying to read why. NASA broke the news earlier this year. This was in 2016, actually.
So not that long ago.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot longer than that. It explains that when ancient Babylonians created the Zodiac over 3,000 years ago, they wanted dates in the calendar to correspond with star constellations. But there were 13 constellations that were working in a 12-month calendar, so they ditched Ophiuchus?
Oh, Ophiuchus.
Oh, Ophiuchus. So what is your what was your current sign?
I'm Aquarius.
That you know, Aquarius. So Aquarius is February 16th to March 11th.
Yeah, I'm still Aquarius.
I'm trying to remember what the old ones were though. So am I still a Libra? Because I was a Libra. You know what? I'm not a Libra anymore. I'm now a Virgo.
Wow. How does that make you feel? So you know
Virginese.
how do you feel about these my throat? How do you feel about
How do I feel about your throat? I feel your throat is a sexy vessel for that voice to come out of.
how do you feel about astrological signs?
That there's something that people put a sign with a date that means nothing in reality.
So whenever you read like common traits about you, do you and your sign?
I don't even remember what my common traits were as a Libra, and now they wouldn't be my common traits anyway, since
Right.
I'm no longer a Libra apparently.
So I will admit that the things that Aquarius normally supposedly associate with, it totally fits me. And I know that people will say that you read these things,
confirmation bias.
confirmation bias, right? But whenever I read other ones, I don't read other ones and say that fits me. Know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know what you're saying.
You just don't care.
I've never looked at it enough to go, I definitely believe that these things have some accuracy to them.
So
versus...
here's my thought on the subject. Whenever I've thought about the subject, I feel like that there's some possibility that based on the time of year that you enter this world, the things that are like prevalent in that time of year could have some effect on the person that you are, that some of the traits that you may have. And so I feel
I
like
would completely agree with that.
Well, so to me, that's kind of proven that that's not complete bullshit. Now, I don't believe in horoscopes. I don't believe that you can on a given day say, well, the fucking sun and the moon and the Venus and the Mars and bloody bloody, and therefore, if you were born on these days, that this is what is going to happen to you on this day. I think that's complete bullshit. But I do sometimes wonder if there's a little bit of truth to some personality traits based on the time of year you were born.
I mean, see, I look at it more. I already had signs. I just made some more. I look at it more as in it's like the psychic. There's some truth to what those psychics say, which is how they suck people in, because it's just they can read people and say generalities, and you know, the second you could do that, then all of a sudden you're a psychic, right?
Well, I mean, okay, so you're talking about people that sit there and basically get a read on you, you know, as just a smart person. You get a read on someone, and then you tell them things, and then you're like, holy shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent, but the general concept of the way that, you know, psychics and work and stuff. By the way, how many steps do you have to drop something again to make it
I think
not
it was
die?
16, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
3. But the whole concept is that you're saying general enough concepts that could apply to a wide range of people.
Right.
And it's almost kind of like that's what you could be doing with the astrological signs, is you say something that's wide range enough that the whole thing is not going to fit everybody, but it will fit you enough to be like, you know what? That's kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's the way I look at it. I believe it's complete not true. I don't think it's that, you know, that your sign dictates that you're going to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Or have certain personality traits. But, I mean, you do bring up a good... Well, and especially throughout the years. I think maybe people born with, you know, right now with the, you know, the controversy of the Trump presidency and this and that, I believe those kids might grow up slightly different just because they're raised in a different way and in a different environment, because there's all these different people coming out about, you know, sexual allegation, blah, blah, blah. So all the current events that are happening, I do believe lead to different changes in the way kids are raised and could lead to personality traits, but it wouldn't be that at the same time next year, a child born at that same time is going to express those
Right.
same differences. Like, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
About that.
Well, see, you know, I mean, I don't. So, okay, when I look back at what happened when I was born, like, basically that was like the Reagan administration, I don't know about any of that stuff. Like, I mean, I know about it because it did not affect.
Well, you don't have to know about that stuff in general, but you might have been raised differently because of what was happening in current events.
I guess it's possible. Yeah.
And therefore, your personality trait could be based on some of that natural upbringing that you don't necessarily know about the current events themselves, but your parents or your caregivers or whatnot did raise you slightly differently because of what was happening in the world at the time.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's possible.
And I'm not saying that that's like based on any facts. That's just an opinion that I have and a thought process as to why the concept of signs might be adequate. But that's why I can't see them really holding true. Like when you say that you do have personality traits based on when you were born, you got to keep in mind that saying that means your zodiac sign has some significance because you think you have a personality trait based on when you were born. You're talking about a month that you were born in. You're not talking about a time frame. It's like literally I was born in October, so that therefore I am this personality. And I can't see that holding steady throughout the years and years and years, especially since the Zodiac like creation.
Yeah, I wonder when those sort of things were decided. Like when were those things first worked out? I wonder.
3,000 years ago, according to that article I just read, but I don't really know what that means.
Interesting.
Like, I don't know if it was just 3,000 years ago, some, you know, people were like, so, zodiac signs, let's make them up, or, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I have idea. Now I gotta cover this whole thing up. Let's see. I got a double layer system right now. We're gonna see if it works.
I will admit that when I was in high school and my girlfriend had broken up with me, I used to read her horoscope and my horoscope every single day.
I did that too when I was in high school, younger. I used to have like an Excite homepage.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm headed at.
And you could set up your homepage with. I had the lotto numbers there, my horoscope, my girlfriend's horoscope. You know, it was just that was my little my landing page for the day. I get to work and be like, okay, let's check out what it says going on in the world today for me. You know, because this is different than what's going on for everybody else somehow.
Yep. It was Excite. And Excite had the love horoscopes too, so it wasn't just like you could also read.
It's kind of sad that Excite went away because I think that was actually. Do I still have an Excite page? That would be amazing if they were still there. Excite's still there. Can I log in?
God, I would never know my login or anything.
Hold on.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm in.
Does it have all your shit?
Let's see. I wish I was using OBS right now and I could just show my screen. It seems to be like there's very few pictures. It's almost as if it says email, no new messages. I am hooked up to USA Today, Flint Journal, and Detroit Free Press, and I made this back when I lived in Michigan. So this is definitely my stuff. Oh, I got cartoons on the side. I've got BC, Kathy, Doonesbury, Garfield, and Ziggy.
Oh God.
The on this day, what happened in history? I forgot about that. I don't see my horoscope though.
Well, how will we know?
Well, maybe it got confused when they changed the horoscopes.
It doesn't even know what you are anymore.
I don't know who you are. Yeah, it does not have my horoscope. It definitely looks different than it did before, though it has, it's definitely mine, though, because oh, my links. Hold on, show. I didn't have my links in here. No, it still doesn't show anything over there. It's got like an orange background, which is what I had made it. I don't know why I made it an orange background. I remember that, though. So it's definitely still there. It just doesn't seem to be like necessarily that functional anymore.
That's too bad.
I used to like Excite a lot because I believe Excite was the people behind Lycos.
I don't remember.
Or was Lycos its own thing? Well, Lycos was one of the very first. They had a free talk radio that you could do. And you could get on there and just start broadcasting like an online talk radio. This is before anybody had, the YouTube didn't exist at the time. I'm talking in 2001.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that time frame. And my friends and I, we used to, when we found out about it, we started hosting a local, it wasn't local, it was internet, but a talk radio show just because we could. Why not? Like, we were just having fun with it. And it was some weird thing where it didn't transfer or attract the number of listeners too well. It would give you like ranges of listeners. So it'd be like, you have 1 to 2 people listening right now. And then it'd be like, you have 2 to 8 people. Then it'd be like, you have 9 to 22 people listening. I don't know why it did that. It was just some range. But we would have some nights where we'd get up to 40 and 50 people randomly listening to our show.
Wow.
And then you just go through a link because there would only be 10 or 15 people broadcasting at any given time. And you could look at everybody who was broadcasting, and then people would stop and completely just jump into your channel and try to troll you. But then you just bullshit with them and have fun because you would do the same thing to them right afterwards. So it just became this fun trolling, have fun, talk some interesting conversation. And it was very entertaining and a lot of excitement before true live streaming and stuff.
Right. That's I did not know anything about that. I think that they had, was it Excite or Yahoo that had spades or hearts?
I mean, they used to have card games. Used to be big on a lot of them, but I think Yahoo was a lot more popular for the game.
Yeah, one of them we used to play in high school every single day. We play hearts, and since we're sitting right beside each other, we just destroyed people because we could see each other.
Just look at their cards.
Yeah. Yeah, so we it's just basically cheating, but yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think Hearts is a lot of fun. I'm always still a big fan of Euchre, but I really much prefer playing cards in person. That's like the one
Yeah.
thing that no matter what, even playing online poker with people or something, whatever, it can be fun. Cards is so much more of a social game for me.
I agree.
And so I could never really get into the online card games just because I wanted to bullshit with
Well,
people.
now it's in such a way. There's so many programs made that.
Well, now with like Tabletop Simulator, you could essentially have social conversations
Right.
in a Discord channel, basically be like you're there. But I haven't played too much Tabletop Simulator.
So Tabletop Simulator works with VR headsets too, and we've had a lot of fun with that. Miko, Nakomi, and Justin.
I can't imagine actually putting on a VR headset to play cards.
Well, maybe not cards, but like board games and stuff. I mean, that said, we did play Uno, and it's really cool because you're holding the cards in your hand. You can grab them out of your hand and put them down, and like I don't know, it's just like real life, but without the realness.
But not real at all.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think the VR things like I'm amazed that Tabletop Simulator has become popular. I mean, I'm glad it did, but it's just so funny to be like, by the way, all the things that used to make you interact with people, we no longer do. We'll virtualize the interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing.
We played Risk one night, VR, and that was real good. It was real fantastic. Yeah, I guess it depends on the game.
Can you knock over the pieces and stuff on accident?
Kinda. Yeah.
Because I know I remember there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as that, but yeah. So I've added
Yeah.
windows to these rooms, and it.
Do they meet fire code?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's really funny. I was reading a Reddit subreddit on it was tell me about night shift people talk about things that day shift people don't understand. And I was like, oh, I was a night shift for years, this will be entertaining. And one of the biggest complaints is obviously about sleeping in the sun. It's hard to sleep during the day when there's sunlight shining in your
Yeah,
window
you just
all
got to
the time.
get sleeping bags and cover your windows in them.
Well, and somebody talked about how they lived in a room which was completely against fire code and didn't have the second exit as the window, but it was so perfect because it made it pitch black in there. And I kind of started laughing. I'm like, that guy lives against fire code. And I was like, wait a minute. The room that I sleep in at the fire station doesn't have windows in it.
That's great.
It is a window there's no window. I like it because it's pitch black in there. And I'm like, I'm at the fire station. It's a window or it's a room in the middle of the firehouse that does not have a second exit, a second egress.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Anyways, though, you have windows.
Oh yeah. You should come take a peek at them.
You
If you can
say
get out
that
of
in
there
a way
really
that I'm like, what's going on here?
I mean, I think they're all right. Since this place rotates as you go up, every floor is the same, but that means on the outside it looks different.
Right.
So like,
I'm coming.
there's not symmetry on the outside, but I think it looks okay.
Is it not a cemetery on the outside?
Symmetry.
Symmetry.
I think it looks really good on the inside.
And
You just
couple
broke up. I didn't hear what you said.
oh, I said I had a comment in one of my videos that mentioned something about Guude can't be serious with his pronunciation of whale, can he?
What do you? I don't know what I said. It was whale.
Oh no, I think the windows look good.
Okay.
I like it. It's because before there was too few windows.
I think
There's no
so,
question
yeah.
about that. You are lacking symmetry, though. Not that I care, but from bottom to top, you're.
I don't think the top floor is done yet.
Well, just you have the two on the left, the two left banked windows. You're like missing one almost on the first floor.
What do you mean?
So you see the 1, 2, 3, the fourth row windows up, which is just the windows on the left side.
Yeah.
It's almost like it should have started down right here, right? Or would it have started one below?
Well, come inside and see, and you can see what it is.
Oh no, I understand what it is. It just is almost like it's missing if you want that symmetrical look from the outside.
Oh yeah,
It's
well
not
I have to put
symmetrical.
like you saying I have to put windows in this corner right here, basically.
Yeah, I think so. Unless it's supposed to go a layer below. Well, then it's still not symmetrical because then things are like off by. I don't know. Like
Yeah, because it
personally don't-
rotates. See the way it rotates, it's like what I think it's 4 before it loops, right? Because like if you look on this side over here, so we got one window. That's the closet.
Yeah,
and
1,
stair.
2, 3, 1. Oh no, you're right. You're right because it would actually start right behind where this. Yeah, it would start right here. That's where it
Right.
would start.
So I think the
So
first.
you know, I
floor
guess
won't
that's
match.
right. It just looks a lot closer than it really is. But yeah, it would start below that.
And I think I haven't
Though-
done the floor. Yeah, the next floor up I haven't done yet either. So like if I
Though
fix that
this layer of windows does not match the layer of windows that's above it. So in theory, it needs a right banked window, actually.
like this floor here hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, but in theory, it needs to match the one that has the window on the opposite side. So go down 1, 2.
Whoops.
If you go down 2 flights from where you're at, that's in theory the window set that the bottom needs to match.
Okay.
Which it obviously can't because it's Oh, you know what you can do to make this to fix that actually? Is put like an awning
Oh yeah, yeah.
separating out the first floor, and then it
Right.
kind of just is a separation to say, hey, the symmetry starts above this.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Well, I think with that, we're done here for this day.
We're done here.
We're
We're
here.
done with you guys.
Thanks for listening. and
All
watching.
right, see you guys next time.